All right, viewers, let's bring you the biggest news of the day that we're tracking. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has arrived in New Delhi after a short visit to Kolkata. Rubio is in India for a 4-day visit during which he will attend the Quad Summit and hold a bilateral meeting with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The high-level visit is expected to focus on strengthening India-US strategic partnership and Quad cooperation. Let me go across to my colleague Arzu Seth, who's joining us for more information on this front. Arzu, Marco Rubio has finally landed in New Delhi as well after this brief visit to Kolkata. What all is on the agenda? Please take us through the details.
Well, yes, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio arrived in Kolkata this morning to begin his 4-day India visit. And, it's his first trip to the country since taking office last year. And also, he has just landed in New Delhi. Rubio is scheduled to meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Delhi later today. And also, the U.S., top U.S. diplomats will also hold talk with the External Affairs Minister Jaishankar and on Sunday, and will attend a meeting with the Quad Foreign Minister in Delhi on Tuesday. So he is also expected to visit Agra and Jaipur. There's a lot of work on with India. There is a great ally and partner, and we do a lot of good work with them. So this is an important trip. This is what he said, on Friday about his trip to India. The two sides are also expected to hold talks on the U.S.-Iran war and its economic impact, including on energy supplies, and also the recent tensions over the U.S. imposing tariffs on India. So Rubio visit is expected to serve a high-level efforts to put the partnership back on, on a good terms, on a good ground, with both U.S. President Donald Trump and the Prime Minister Narendra Modi seen as a personally invested in maintaining momentum in bilateral ties. Yes.
Please do stay on with us, Arzu. We have some more information flowing in. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has paid tribute to Mother Teresa during his brief visit to Kolkata. In a statement, Secretary Rubio said, and I quote here, "Mother Teresa left a tremendous legacy of compassion and service. I was honored to visit the missionaries of charity today to pay homage to her legacy and to see the living example of the Catholic faith in action." Rubio visited the iconic missionaries of charity before arriving in New Delhi for the Quad Summit and his bilateral meeting with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So Arzu, this was a tweet, a social media post that was in fact put out by Marco Rubio regarding his visit to the missionaries of charity in Kolkata.
They're signaling a major diplomatic push. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio arrived in Kolkata and marking his first visit by top American diplomat to the Eastern, metropolis in 14 years. Also, the brief stopover served as the opening leg of the high-speed 4-day India tour amid, as a repairing exchange bilateral ties and reinforcing regional partnerships. And shortly after landing, Rubio visited the Mother House in central Kolkata, the global headquarters of Cancer Research Missionaries of Charity, and its adjoining children's home, a visit carrying strong symbolic and cultural resonance. And the last U.S. Secretary of State to set foot in Kolkata in May 2012 was Henry Hilton. And Rubio's first official visit to India marks a significant step in expanding bilateral cooperation between Washington and New Delhi. In fact, after visiting the Mother Teresa charity home, he said on social media platform that Mother Teresa left a tremendous legacy of compassion and service. I was honored to visit the missionaries of charity today to pay my homage to her legacy and also to see the living example of the Catholic faith in action. Yes.
All right, Arzu, thank you so much for all those details.